Begins. Begins. Begins for who? I mean, I'm pretty happy with the pool, but what are we getting at? Happiness Begins is the 5th studio album released by the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, so 10 years later and a couple of solo projects, TV, other things like that, Jonas Brothers decided that they're gonna get together again. I don't think their offset dynamics were as crazy as maybe other bands have been in the past, but 10 years of not releasing an album as a band, that's some time. So what are we going to get out of something like this after that long while? And I'm trying to figure out who was really waiting for this. Because personally, when the Jonas Brothers were, I guess, big at the time, I never hated them. I thought that they were perfectly fine. That's basically how I felt about them. They were fine. I felt like for the most part, they were like a good example versus some other people that you can look up to in a way. I didn't think their music was revolutionary of any kind. They did have some sort of iconic sound to it though, so they had that going for them. And then they decided to do their own things for a while. Nick Jonas did a lot of solo projects, none of which I really was a fan of. Joe Jonas forming his band DNCE, and I kind of liking that band. And Kevin, what does Kevin do? Anyway, this being something new and something for now, I guess. That was going to be kind of surprising, but I thought maybe it'd take us back a little bit. And this album is, I don't know if I can explain it very shortly, but I have a whole review to do that. So let's start off with this. The first song on the album, also the lead single that I think everybody knows at this point by now, called Sucker. If you're looking for anything better than that song, I'm not sure if you're going to get it because I think that's the best song on this album. And I don't want to take anything away from the rest of the album. There were a few things that I did like about this album. Other people who I had heard of, other friends who have reviewed this album, I feel like they were maybe a little too harsh on it, but again, this probably isn't their thing anyway. To give you an idea, I liked some of the experimentation that they were going for. Two of the songs in here that show me that they do want to experiment and grow, starting with the song I Believe. And the other, Don't Throw It Away. Both of these have kind of this 80s oriented vibe. I feel like there's some sort of trend coming up on that, whether you're listening to Carly Rae Jepsen or Charlie Puth or some other pop artists. They're trying to take something from the past and bring it back now, at least in some of their discography. And I think in these songs, as an example, try to preserve some of that cutesiness that they kind of had going for them. And I think that they still can pull that off. And beyond that, I find the rest of this album pretty boring, actually. I wrote down in here some of the songs just kind of had a kind of feel, if you know what I mean. Or possibly a kind of vibe. Other times it feels like it's either too generic or it feels like it's not bad, but it's not believable for like the impact that they might have been trying to get. Maybe they're trying to go over the hurdle of this perception that they have. Some of the lyrics in here, I was just kind of like, wait, what? Really? You wrote that down? Other times where I felt like their experimentation wasn't going right was once I thought the last song actually reminded me of the Backstreet Boys. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that as in they were trying to be more like them. That's just how I heard it. I don't think that's really what happened, but that's kind of what I heard. And there is one song on here. I don't know if I want to name it, but you can probably guess it if you listen to this album. It's incredibly melodramatic with a lot of guitar, and I just thought to myself, why would a Jonas Brothers fan want to listen to this? In the end, I feel like this album comes down to a lack of inspiration, a lot of risk with creativity, but not in the sense that it all connected together. So I am a little let down, but not really let down. I like the Jonas Brothers. I just don't love them so much, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to give them a chance, and I think that they have always that potential. And I don't know if we're going to get anything more from them in the future. They're always going to be brothers. We can't take that away from them. But, if they do something in the future, okay. If they decide to do their solo projects again, okay. Just keep trying to find that thing that connects. Find your yes factor. Please, try. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 79%, creativity 66%, expression and lyrics 71%, I'm going to give this album an okay. When You Look Me in the Eyes, Love Bug, there's that other one with the spy music video. Some of those other songs were much better suited for them. We'll see what else they can do in the future. But yeah, Sucker, a good song. I think it'll go down okay based on how the rest of this year is going with radio singles and things like that. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time. I'm a sucker for you.